of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, I had to let that Dennis Edwards, Saida Garrett rock out a little bit. Don't look any further, because we were just talking about Dennis Edwards and the Temptations. And might I add, that video is 80s excellent. Listen, Saida Garrett in the red and purple with the leather gloves, yes. the snow-infused antics that were displayed on that video. It's a great song anyway. The bass line is cold. But the video,
Low budget like a mud.
What'd you say?
Low budget like a mud.
It was, but it was very 80s with the 80s backdrop. Like that is when you could go to the mall and make a video just like that. You could go in there and I think you could pay like $19.99, which was a lot of money in the 80s, you know, for a kid. And you could make a little video in front of a screen like that with your little VHS tape and take it home.
It was about Dennis Edwards with that chewing gum though.
Man, a snow jaw.
You know
That's
what?
what it looked like to me. I don't know.
You know what?
Listen.
This
classic.
is a family program.
It is. It is.
Late night.
Late night. That's right.
Oh, goodness.
Like I said, welcome into hour 2 of RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. This, of course, is the show where we hit all the trending topics across entertainment, sports, lifestyle, and culture. I am not alone tonight. We have, you know, it's Wednesday. So our Keep It Real friend is in the building, Trent Jackson, Trent the artist. And we are joined by singer extraordinaire Cy Smith. We are getting to know her journey, talking about, she has a new album out. Trent, this is where you come in and say title. Look, I'm giving you ad libs.
Yes, until we meet again. It is I was gonna count. I usually keep track of how many albums is this number 6?
This is number 6.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I'm getting old, so gotta make sure my stuff is sharp.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna give you this early. You guys are gonna hear it again. Make sure you're following her at Cybersmith. Cyber with an S. Okay.
Cyberspace.
Oh, cyberspace. I'm
Yes,
sorry. Excuse
that's
me.
all right.
Cyberspace.
Yeah.
You know, because her last name is Cy Smith.
That's
so
right. That's
I'm in
right.
the right place, but not the right
Absolutely.
thing. Cyberspace with an S.
Yes.
Follow her. That's how you will be able to, find out how you can stream, download, purchase her album.
Yes.
New shows coming up. But let's get back into the journey, because as an independent artist, you have watched the industry change from one that was more physical product based, where you had to find different avenues for distribution.
Yes.
There was a lot more money up front, and now we're in a digital space where there are easier ways as far as ownership, but it's still a difficult game as far as penetration and breaking through. So walk me through what that experience has been like for you.
Yeah, it has been an interesting journey in that regard. I was signed to a label at first. This is like 99, so the late 1900s, okay? I was signed to a record label. I did an album. They never put out the album, but I learned the ropes in terms of how to make an album and all that. So after they dropped me, I sort of picked myself back up and I did a little EP, and I manufactured 1,000 of them. Now, that was my first time, doing that. And I sold them out of the back of my truck right over here at Magic Johnson's Fridays.
Okay, I know that's right in the Ladera Center.
You know what I'm saying? And I did okay. And I was like, wow, I can actually do this. Now, at the time, there was no independent soul scene. Anytime you heard the words indie music, they were talking about white
rock. Yeah.
Right. So there really was no indie soul scene. There were only a couple of people here in LA kind of doing it. Medusa, Kim Hill, and me. And that was about it. So fast forward 20 years, that was 2001, I had been doing this. Every time I put out a record, manufacture 1,000, and I sell out of those, manufacture another 1,000, get another 1,000, whatever. And every now and then maybe get some vinyl, depends on the record. But now, 2018, I did a CD. And I I got some CDs made and I got some vinyl made. But honestly, hardly anybody was buying them the way they used to, Now, this is what's funny about people. As soon as you don't do physical product,
they want it.
They want it. So everybody's in the chat like, are you gonna do a CD? Can we get a CD? I just put this record out Friday, and everybody's in the chat like, can we get a CD? Can we get a CD? Now, I'm doing vinyl, and I'm going to do a collectible thumb drive. But I'm not going to do a CD, and I'll tell you why. Cars don't even come with CD players no more.
Exactly.
Mine
Exactly. Let's get the horns for that. My car doesn't. That's one of the first things I noticed. I was like,
You see what I'm saying? So I feel like, people want things just to say something to you sometimes.
I feel so old because I'm the person that wants the CD.
You want a CD?
And I want my CD only because when the grid goes down and all these streaming services goes down, what are we going to listen to?
I hear you on that. I feel you on that.
I need the real CD.
But if I give you a thumb drive, you'll have that.
That's true too. I'll take it.
And
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, the thumb drive doesn't even just have the album. It has the instrumentals. It has some bonus, stuff. But I'm not here to sell that. I'm here to talk about what you just said. So it's like there's a pull and a tug on us to give everybody what they want. But if you're an independent artist, you don't necessarily have the budget to do all of the media. You have to pick and choose which ones are going to matter the most and which ones are going to make you your money back.
Right.
Listen,
when we come forward, we're going to have more with Cy Smith. We're also going to get into these trending topics and headlines and, of course, these YouTube comments because, they are always lit, always going in. All of that and more on the other side. You are locked in to RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. I am joined by our guest, singer Cy Smith.
Hey.
Get into it.
Hey.
And of course, Trent Jackson, Trent the artist. So let me read some of these chats from YouTube. And of course, I have some more questions lined up for you. But Trent probably has some questions too. I'm monopolizing. But you know, happens sometimes. We love that. DJ Black in the chat was shouting us out for playing Lil Dennis Edwards, Don't Look Any Further. Forensic Accountant says, we're going to tell the truth tonight. They are still in denial
He's
that
mad at
New
you.
Edition
Yes.
is the greatest R&B group of all time. I said it again. DJ Black 909 says, who would have thought that this 80s classic would be the foundation for perhaps the most infamous battle rap of all time? That is true. You can be as good as the rest of them, but as bad as the worst.
Yeah.
So don't test me.
Yeah.
You gotta move over, Biggie.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Shout out to that. I did forget about that.
That's right.
Great addition. Thomas Outlaw said, did Dennis Edwards ever take the gum out of his mouth to finish singing? Probably not. But that's okay. You know. That's what the blueprint does. They lay it down in a way that
What you wanna
nobody
do.
else
Exactly.
could follow those footsteps.
That's right.
Can you imagine? Listen, all the
Look.
people that have tried to fail. Thomas Outlaw also said, New Edition is the greatest group of 1 through 6 in separate success and together. Can I submit In Vogue, the original, as far as a great group of voices that can lead the group individually? That is facts. They were all lead singers
Mm-hmm.
and could flip it and do that. Forensic accountant, he had to add his in there. Bobby's vocals have always been mediocre. Listen, star power. You might feel how you feel about Bobby's vocals. There have been moments when they might have not been all the way up to par. The voice
Y'all are
is
gonna
an
put some
instrument.
respect on Uncle
No, no,
Bobby's
no.
name.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not
Period.
disrespecting Bobby.
I
I'm
know
gonna
you're
say
not.
that not everyone may not love his voice, but the voice is an instrument, as I'm sure Sai can attest to.
Sure.
And you have to take care of it, and if you don't, sometimes
Sure.
things happen.
Absolutely.
But performance-wise, 1988, 1989,
On lock.
who was touching Bobby Brown?
Nobody.
He was smoking
Nobody.
that stage.
Yep.
I was about to say Keith Sweat was.
Not performance-wise.
No,
Nah.
I was just talking
Do you know?
mess.
I know.
No, nobody
Sex
was doing
single,
this.
Nobody was doing that. Nobody was
Yeah.
crawling across the stage, calling women thickness,
Listen.
and doing all of that. Bobby was going to jail
Yeah.
for his
This is-
performances. He
this
was
is
being
true.
arrested
This is true.
At
for
the end
what
of the
they
show, yeah.
considered a graphic performance
Lewd.
Isn't
at
that
that
something?
time. Lewd and lascivious behavior.
Isn't that something?
Let me ask you this, Sai. I mean, that's a good way to transition because we love New Edition and their live performance. Bobby Brown, live performance is such a key element for a successful artist. And
Yeah.
I feel like that is something that now is not as focused on with some of
Ooh.
the newer artists. How do you treat live performance as far as your career?
Oh man, live performance is my bread and butter. So I have always been the type of artist that had to be able to translate live. These artists today, and it's different because especially this new generation, like if you get famous on the socials for singing 1 minute of a song, how do you ever get to the point where you can do a 2-hour show?
Facts.
And if the 1 minute song is a song that somebody else wrote, and how will you ever be able to sing original music? So they're just we come from an era where we were trained and schooled up differently, and of course I sang background for some of the greatest voices ever. So I learned in a whole other block.
So, I'm going to ask, or maybe I'll ask Trent to do it for you. Give a little brag list just so that they understand the excellence that Sai not only emulates in
Yeah.
things, but
Yeah.
who she's also stood next to and has had the benefit of,
You're putting me on
like
the
you
spot
said,
with
training
with my Cy Smith knowledge.
Okay, so then Sai,
Whitney
I'll
Houston is the
put
top
you
one.
on the spot.
Yeah.
Is the
that
top
one I
is
knew,
cream
yeah.
of the crop. Whitney Houston. Usher
I mean,
too.
here's the thing, though.
I did do some Usher stuff.
Usher.
Here's the thing, though,
Mhm.
which we love Usher here.
Yeah.
You said Whitney Houston. That's a mic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Do we need? That is a mic drop.
It kind of
The
is.
voice.
The voice. And I was right behind her, being the voice for the voice. Like
Wasn't you on the HBO tape?
I was that was my
Yeah.
very first show with her HBO live
That was an
at
amazing show.
Constitution Hall
Yes.
in my hometown of DC. My mom and dad right there in the audience. It was crazy. And I was like 23. I was a baby. And she's doing all of the, the Aretha tribute and the Dionne Warwick tribute, and her mother is there. She did the Ain't No Way. And if anybody knows out there, Whitney's mother is the one singing the soprano on Aretha Franklin's recorded version of Ain't No Way. So that's Cissy Houston going, ooh, right? So
Better hit that note. Come on, you better come through. No auto tune. No, nothing needed. That is pure
Raw
vocals
vocals.
right
Yep.
there.
So the type of schooling I got was backstage, before we are going on for the dress rehearsal, is Miss Cissy Houston coming over to me and saying, okay, you're the soprano, right? This is the way you need to do that. And it doesn't get any better than that. A 4-year degree from Berkeley College won't give you that, I think I come from an era of performers and stuff that were just schooled up a little differently. This generation is going to find their way when it comes to live performances, but they're going to have to find it differently because you're not going to get it, doing 1 minute videos.
Man,
You
isn't
know.
that not the truth? DJ Black 909 says, Sai, I just listened to your recent single Slide. It reminds me of some late 70s, early 80s Diana Ross stuff.
Oh man, you're right. Thank you so much, DJ Black. First of all, you're right on the money. I actually wrote that song. I pretended to be Marvin Gaye writing a song for Diana Ross. Okay. So that's how that vibe came out. So, oh my God, you're dead on the money. Thank you for that.
Listen, don't you? I love to hear that. That is such an era when you think about like Marvin, Diana, not like the core Motown years, but right after that, where like right after disco, or as it's formulating, going into this vibe thing. That is an energy. There's a glamour about it that just isn't. It's lost in this current era. Like there are glamorous things or whatever, but there's a glamour from that time period that is just amazing. And I love. So what do you think about, again, having the benefit of perspective and looking at how the music industry and entertainment as a whole has changed? How has it impacted you as an artist, watching these changes, watching the changes to women, even though we're taking a stand and we're taking control of ourselves, that also, on the flip side of it, in taking charge of our image, has involved a lot of less and less clothing, even though we're asserting ourselves sexually and we can do it. Do we have to do it in order to be successful? What are your feelings kind of as the changes happen?
I definitely feel you on all of that. Like it's totally good that women are taking agency. Right?
Yes.
Like this is our narrative. This is my narrative. This is what I'm going to do. But the glam that you spoke of a minute ago, I think a big part of that glam was what was left to the imagination. Like nowadays, I feel like the girls are doing everything and leaving not much to the imagination. So we don't have much to fantasize about, but the glam that was in that era that we were just sort of talking about with Marvin Gaye and them sort of post-Motown, pre-disco, that glam was like beautiful imagery, tailoring, fitted this. Everything was lovely, but there was still something mysterious, about it. And I think that we have to remind the kids that it's okay to leave a little mystery there, Mystery is okay. Everybody doesn't need to know everything.
I love it. DJ Black says, way to take it back some, Sai. Visualize and create.
Thank you.
So, Trent, like I said, I know that there's
I'm going to jump in there.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. I got you.
So listen, I love talking about music with you and where it's been and how your career kind of has walked alongside of that. What are some of your favorite things that you have seen develop during your time as an independent artist, both for yourself and maybe some outside influences?
What I love seeing is the fact that now, some people lament this point, but I love the fact that so many people have access to the business now. Like it used to be that the studios were owned by the record companies, and you couldn't even get into a studio to record unless you had a record deal. But now everybody can build a studio in their house with a laptop and a mic, and bam, you can make music. And that makes it accessible to everybody. Distribution is a click of a button. You just pick which distributor you want to use digitally, and you can launch your record like bam. Now, some people don't like that because then, you have 1 million records launched. But I love the fact that the playing ground is a little bit evened out in that regard, because art shouldn't be something that you can only access with money. Everybody should be able to make art, and everybody should be able to put out art. I think that's a beautiful thing.
I love it. Art is totally subjective, and it doesn't matter, like you said, the money amount spent on it or the different things.
Yeah.
So at this stage, how do you go about keeping in touch with your audience or reaching them? Because as you pointed out, with a lower barrier to entry means that there's a lot more product out there, a lot more that people have to go through sometimes to find you, to stand out. Yeah. And you have been consistent in a sea of times where, there's a lot of people like, oh, I want to try and jump in and see what works. And nothing's wrong with that. Right. But, it can sometimes clutter up the lane a bit. So
Yeah.
how have you managed to, stay the course and keep in touch with your fans and keep that going?
Yeah, it gets really crowded out there sometimes in these internet streets. But I work really hard on the socials. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on the site formerly known as Twitter. I'm on YouTube for that matter. But I also do direct mailing, which is something that I think a lot of people leave out. I collect email addresses from people at my shows and add them to my list, and I send out an email like once a month, to my email list. I try to get out there any way I possibly can. There is no thing that is beneath me. I still pound the pavement. I still make flyers. You know what I mean? Like, I think that if you lose any, ground in terms of how you connect and communicate with people, you can lose some people, and there's some people that aren't really on these socials, so how do you stay in touch with them? I might start texting y'all in a minute.
Right. They definitely do have those text apps.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are into it.
Yeah.
So listen, the chat, once again, they're going crazy. They have a lot to add. So Forensic Accountant has another group that he wants to add to the theme of greatest R&B group ever. He put in The Time, which is a group that I did not consider, but that's a pretty interesting one. Morris Day, Monty Moore wrote The Pleasure Principle for Janet Jackson. If You Were Here Tonight, that is Alexander O'Neal and others. Jesse Johnson had a super solo career. Can You Help Me? I Want My Girl, the pink guitar and the Jerry curl.
Listen.
Rock On. I love that.
Listen.
Okay. And then, of course, we know who Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are. Shout out to them. They're being honored out tonight at the Black Music Alliance Coalition dinner. So shout out to them. That's a good entry. That's a good entry. I don't know if they beat it, but they did have a hand in New Edition. So, and performance-wise, what Morris Day and Jerome did, that I like that. I like that. And we can't forget Jerome was in, what is it? The Screams of Passion. That was my song.
The Family?
The Family. That's the name of the group, Screams of Passion. So,
wow, that's a good one.
Okay, I like that. I like that. DJ Black clarifies that when he was talking about Don't Look Any Further, it was Hit 'Em Up that he was talking about, and that was the sample in there too. You were right. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Check. Kendi says, that's our young guy in the chat. Shout out to Kendi. He's 22 in the building. He always checks in. I've never listened to New Edition, but it's hard for me to believe that any group can be better than Boyz II Men. Bringing in individual platinum success seems like trying to rig the ranking system. Boyz II Men is a New Edition song. They were inspired by, produced by, managed by Michael Bivins of New Edition. Therefore, they are fruit of the New Edition tree.
And go back and listen to that Any Heartbreak album and get a lesson.
Listen, Johnny Gill on Boyz II Men.
Listen.
Growing up can be... Come on now. But I appreciate it. You just got to go one more back. Kendi, shout out to you. When we come forward, we're going to have more with Cy Smith, more trending topics and headlines. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A civil rights figure is now immortalized in Richmond, Virginia. The city unveiled a statue of Jane Cooper Johnson. In 1961, as a 12-year-old girl known as Daisy Jane Cooper, she was the first black student to attend West Hampton Junior High School. The 12-foot-high statue is called Strides. Johnson remembers being very lonely at the time, and she tells 12 on Your Side she hopes this creates a dialogue that leads to empathy and compassion. The operators of a Dayton, Ohio Sleep Number mattress outlet are agreeing to a settlement with a local woman over her treatment at their store in December 2023. The Dayton unit of the NAACP assisted 85-year-old Helen Dewberry as she dealt with corporate leaders. Employees called police on Dewberry in December after she questioned them about a purchase agreement and reportedly refused to leave. The company has apologized to the woman, and they have agreed to put employees through bias-free customer service training. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families facing malnutrition. You can help. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's go. Yes. You're now listening to the sounds of the great Cy Smith with the incredible, incomparable, so and tall black guy on the board. You dig me? That's right. This feels good, right? Oh, my bad. I forgot to introduce myself. Okay, let's go. Come on. Hey, put your hands in the sky if you rock with Trey Lee in. Come on. When I was stomping the yard at Howard University in. I mean, it was a vibe, and we was all outside in. Yes, that's right. Making power moves with my homegirl side. Come on. What is it the moonlight? Hitting just right, yeah, I like it, babe. Let's stay in the moonlight and dance till our bodies take over, yeah. Touch me, yeah.
Feels like summer and good vibes. Like, you know, when the sun rays are on you, you outside, little libation, or other things if you enjoying the sun and just good times, maybe with your boo.
Okay.
That feels good.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
The
I
horn.
tweeted you about this song. For some reason, I was listening when the album first came out. I was listening to it just in the morning, getting ready before I left, and whatever it was, this song hit me, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay. For me, it was like, yeah, I know that you tell stories on all of your albums, but for me, it was like one of the most clearly personal stories that you've ever told on one of your records.
I get very clear at the end of 93,
Yes.
summer of 93.
And
I get very specific.
Yes, and I was like, yes. But of the times and just thinking about, because I wanted to be grown so bad in 93. I was like 11, right? But describing everything that you described in that song took me back to 93. It was a moment.
That's cool.
Beautiful CD, like throughout.
Thank
and I
you.
keep calling it a CD, but beautiful
Thank you.
album throughout.
Yeah, thank you.
And I told you, it's such a joyous thing. It's sonically soothing. It makes you laugh. It makes you feel good. And then at the end, you make us cry.
Oh, you know, I didn't mean to make you cry.
It hit me.
Oh.
Like I cried.
Oh,
I for real cried.
You're not the only one. So many people have tweeted me
And I had to slide in your messages. I was like, homegirl, on a Friday morning, this is what you're doing? Making me cry like this? Wasn't expecting it.
Listen,
you brought me all the way up to bring me down.
Let me slide in between you guys really quick to welcome everyone back into RSVP with Jill Munroe.
I'm sorry.
Here on KBLA Talk 1580. You were listening to Cy Smith, Summer of 93. And as you heard, felt really good, right?
It did.
We were vibing. We need more of that. Cy's album is out now. Came out Friday.
Yes.
It's available everywhere.
Everywhere.
Get your digital.
Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Yes.
And we're going to get more into that. But before we do, there's a couple of comments in the chat I want to touch on. Thomas Outlaw says, Cy, your regular speaking voice is so weirdly enchanting. Did you ever consider voiceover work?
I actually do voiceover work. Thank you so much for that comment. You can hear my voice on a couple of different things. Most recently, I'm on an animated series called Young Love, which is spur off of Hair Love by Matthew Cherry. So that's on Max, or it used to be called HBO Max, but now it's just Max. But it's a great show. I play the role of Mrs. Anderson. She's the teacher. And she is a funny girl. Oh my goodness.
Shout out to that. That was an Academy Award nominated short. I remember when Matthew was putting together the book for that.
Yeah.
He had a campaign.
I've contributed.
I contributed too. So like, watching it take each of its step forward and develop into
win
that.
An Oscar.
And win an Oscar and then come full circle to have you sitting here as one of the actresses participating into that. We love to hear stories like that and just about, press perseverance and how talents come together like Voltron and combine, you know,
Yeah.
good things just coming together.
It's a good feeling. Oh, and our show is up for an NAACP Image Award, I believe.
Shout out to that. March 16th, those will be given out.
Yeah.
So we have that to look forward to. So listen, real quick, we got to throw this topic out there we've been talking about. Dougie Fresh wants hip hop artists to stop the beef. Yeah, we know that if you were around social media over the weekend, Nicki Minaj spent about 72 hours going in on Megan Thee Stallion. People have landed on different sides of that. It has gotten a little heated, a little explicit. Definitely the gloves are off. But Dougie Fresh, you know, old school, dropped in the 80s. It was him and Slick Rick, the human beatbox. Keep rising to the top. Give me all you got. Give me all you got. All of that good stuff. And he and Slick Rick had their moments when they fell out. People may not be fully aware of that and things of that nature. So he is explaining why he thinks that the beef needs to end right away, asexually. Let's hear what he had to say.
Because I've been through a situation where me and Rick split, and we never got to do that work. And so I seen this same thing happening to them. So I felt, I'm going to tell you about this before you get to the point where we got. We don't want to do this again. So I feel that is what we supposed to do. We supposed to share these stories, not like we hating and talking about somebody or, you know, all of that emotional, you know, like illusions that's going on in your mind. Nah, we using this experience to better the experiences moving forward.
So I understand that. Of course, you want to use the experience to get better, but is it realistic to expect everyone to always get along? And although ideally we want everyone to cheerlead for each other and to be supportive, is that realistic? And is it asking to only, you know, be positive all the time in all aspects? Asking people to, in some ways, constrain themselves or to sort of, you know, not be an authentic version of themselves?
I mean, it's hard because hip hop at its core is about boasting and bragging. It's a competitive sport. You know what I mean? We've all watched those hip hop, you know, battles on YouTube or whatever. It's a competitive sport by nature, a competitive art form, sort of. But we've all seen where the beefs can get really dangerous too.
Right.
You know, and nobody wants that. You know, I think when you start taking personal jabs at people, you know, you got to take a step back and look at why are you hitting so low? You know, what is it about them that makes you want to hit them that low? And is it really about yourself? You know, you got to look in the mirror and see what that is that makes you want to act so ugly, you know, and then work that out, you know. We just saw Kid Cudi and Lupe Fiasco make a truce, you know, last week. Truces are way better for the brand, you know, than anything else. You know, I don't care what anybody says.
That is indeed fact. So bringing it back around to you, in those moments where your career maybe wasn't going the way that you expected to, you talked briefly about, you know, having a major label deal and then that not working out and you figuring it out and pulling yourself together and learning the independent game on your own. But the time in between that, no matter if it was a day or 6 months, what was that experience like? And what did you use to fuel you to push through that and find another way?
Yeah, it was a hard time. You know, it was a hard time for me getting knocked down like that. I was lucky. I was a lucky one, though, because at the same time, I wasn't dependent on the label for my money. I was acting, so I was doing a lot of commercials. You know, I was in a lot of commercials at one time, you know. So I was okay financially. Plus, I was touring with different people. Right. So I was good, you know, like I was out with Genuine or, you know, Eric Benet or Shaka Khan. Like I was always working.
Listen, those names, what did we tell you? Those names.
Yeah, I was always working. But my head and my heart were broken when I got dropped, because I thought there was something wrong with me. And it took me a second to figure out it's not me, there's something wrong with them. I'm actually the prize, and they just don't see it, and that's okay. I see it. And as soon as I said that to myself and went ahead and made an EP, I was on my way. My trajectory never stopped going up from that point on. But it did take a second to pick myself up like Humpty Dumpty and put myself back together because I was broke down, child.
Listen, perseverance, we love to hear it. We love to see it. And we are inspired by it.
Yeah.
When we come forward, we are going to have more with Cy Smith. Of course, more YouTube comments, more with Trent Jackson, Trent the artist. More. All that and more on the other side. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Infusing a sense of fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area. Featuring a razor with patented irritation defense bar and skin care regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for Allstate auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. Of course, as always, the YouTube chat is lit. So let me get to a couple of these comments. DJ Black 909, beef is nonsense. Nothing but a waste of time and energy. Leave it alone before you or someone else gets hurt. Not everything needs a response. You don't like someone, you don't have to say anything about them. You can just walk away from them. No, that's right. And then he added, listen, he's on his soapbox today, and I'm not mad at it. Take the time to have a sit down and talk it out. Real folks can iron out their differences. Even if you agree to disagree, you can put that ridiculous pride aside. 100. Thank you for that. Andy?
You know, I think what Dougie Fresh had to say applies to people in general.
Facts.
In my opinion, it doesn't necessarily have to be music beefs. It could just be you, and you might be beefing with a family member. You might be beefing with the person across the street. I think his message applies all across the board. And shout out to Shantae Carmel.
Shout out to Shantae Carmel.
I agree. We talk about this all the time. Something that Trent and I frequently say, communication is what is lacking in most relationships, and what causes a lack of communication is what causes a lot of the problems. So listen, Until We Meet Again is available online, and you are also on tour and have a show coming up in LA that I feel like, I feel like some people will be interested in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I'm originally from D.C., so I used to do these go-go shows here in L.A., and I haven't done one in a really long time. I'm doing one this Friday at the Peppermint Club. All of the homies from D.C. are flying out here, and we are putting together the most crankinest collective ever. We're called Crank Caviar, and we're going to be live at the Peppermint Club this Friday, February 2nd at 9 p.m. So come to the Grammy Week Go-Go if you are in L.A. Don't miss this, because it's the last go-go I'm going to do probably for another 10 years.
Listen, I like Crank Caviar. That is, and the Peppermint Club is a nice venue.
Yeah,
you
it's a
know,
dope venue.
that is amazing. So y'all come get some of that good.
Yeah, and then I'm also on tour.
Which,
Yeah.
let's talk about that
So
too.
I'm very excited. Until We Meet Again is going on a 10-city tour. I start March 1st in Indianapolis. That's March 1st and 2nd. March 3rd, I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. March 7th and 8th, I'll be in my hometown, D.C. at Blues Alley. March 10th, I'll be in Philly. March 12th, I'll be in Erie, Pennsylvania. March 17th, I'll be in Chicago. March 22nd and 23rd, Charlotte. April 11th, I'll be in New Orleans.
That's right. Keep going.
April 14th, I'll be in Houston. And April 27th, I'm bringing back home to Miracle Inglewood. The Miracle
That
Theater.
is right here, whoop whoop, in Inglewood, California. Gotta get those horns out. So, first of all, cyberspace with an S.
Yeah.
Go follow or hit follow right now.
Please do.
So, link in bio so you can find out about the show on Friday.
Yes.
To get the album.
Yes.
Until We Meet Again.
Yep.
Tickets for that tour. And, all things Cy Smith.
Yeah.
I need you to do that not in a little while.
That's right.
Right now.
Right now.
Hit that follow button. I am so glad that you could come in and join us tonight.
Thank you
Listen,
for having me.
Summer of '93 was a vibe. I can't wait to dive into the rest.
Sheila E's on the album.
I saw that. I was gonna ask you about that.
Yes, my girl Sheila E is playing percussion on the album. The Escovita family has embraced me for many, many years. I do a lot of work with Sheila's dad, Pete Escovedo. Some people out
Legend.
there, he's a legend. So a lot of people may have seen the Let's Stay Together video that we did a few years ago. Pops went viral at 85, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, Sheila's on the record. Chris Bodie, Grammy Award-winning trumpeter, is on my album.
We're talking real instruments,
Yes,
okay?
yes.
Not just punch-ins and things of that nature. Real vocals, real instrumentation.
Absolutely. And Leo Amawedo on guitar is on a couple of songs. He is a master. Dante Winslow is playing trumpet. He works with Dr. Dre, Justin Timberlake, Adam Blackstone, and Tracy Lee, the rapper, is on here.
By Storm.
Come on now, you better know your stuff. I love
Okay.
it. And Fonte Coleman executive produced this album. So I'm really proud of it.
I really love that you have stood the test of time
Thank
and
you.
continued to evolve and expand your career. So many people wonder what it takes, how they can make it through, the setbacks. They just sit in that and rest in that. And you have picked yourself up, put together a different path, created lanes for
Thank you.
others to join in, and
Thank
that's
you.
what it's all about. And that is a testament to your spirit,
Thank you.
which obviously permeates out through the vibes. I love that. So I wish you to have much success. DJ Black 909 says Summer 93 is a bop. We need that
Hey.
single right before summer.
All right.
I'm telling you, all the vibes, all the vibes. I see it.
Thank
I'm
you.
all about outdoor breezes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
light Riesling. Y'all can
Yeah.
have rosé, maybe
That's
a
nice.
Prosecco. You know?
Yeah.
And that vibe, Cy Smith, right there.
Thank you.
You know, we
Thank
love
you.
to see it. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And I got to figure out how I can get my tickets for April 27th at the Miracle Theater.
Yes.
You
If
got-
you're nice, you can sit next to me because I have the window open right now and I'm trying to decide where I want to sit.
Okay, look at that. Friday at the Peppermint Club.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you. Oh. Listen, they're going to hit the site and figure out how much. You know that it is
How much are the
worth,
tickets?
Yeah, every bit of your money.
Oh, and they're very reasonable.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Andy wants to know how much.
Reasonable, like
35, 45, 55.
yeah,
something
30,
like that.
33,
Listen.
38, and 44.
Live
you
entertainment,
go.
real music, vocals.
Yeah.
That is a deal. You better go get that in there to start your spring off right or
Listen.
to cap off Grammy week on
Listen.
Friday.
And you can
The
sit
Grammy
close.
week tickets are just $20. So just, come on.
You know, where can you get into a Grammy week party in LA? Here's
You know what
some
I'm
good
saying?
go-go.
It's gonna be
Okay.
popping.
In an ambiance
Okay.
like
You trying to hit
such.
that, Andy?
Do you know what I'm saying? Make sure you get in there. Make sure that you hit Cy Smith up at cyberspace with an S.
Yes.
We appreciate you for clocking in. Andy
Thank you.
got one more bit.
Before you go,
Uh-huh.
if it's not too much to ask,
Uh-oh.
you know, you kind of gave us a little snippet.
What?
You know what I'm saying? When you first got up in here, we got to hear that lovely voice.
You got to
Acapella.
do a
Something.
drop for Jill.
What am I singing?
Whatever you want to sing,
Whatever.
whatever's on
We
your
just wanna
heart.
hear your
We just want to
voice.
hear the vocals.
I
That's
have a song on the album called Why Do You Keep Calling Me? And I mean, it's pretty obvious what it's about. It's about a guy that won't stop calling me, leave me alone. But but I think I love it. It goes just when things were starting to look up and I started finding my way out of all the dust that you kicked up, you took my heart and threw it away. See, you made it clear you were moving on. No more blurred lines there. Did I read you wrong? It was on the wall. Yeah, this was your song. You don't wanna make this easy. You've been lying all along. But why you calling? Why do you keep calling me?
Listen, amazing.
Sounds
Come
just like the
on.
album.
Real
Just like the
vocals,
album.
real talent, raw, off the rip. We appreciate you so much, Cy. Thank you for checking in. When you come back, when you're touring, you have to come back in before your show in April. We would love that to discuss that and talk about all of that. Listen, we have more trending topics and headlines coming up. On the other side, we're going to get into what is going on with AI. Why are they targeting Black celebrities and Black media with this media manipulation and misinformation? More trending topics, more headlines. Thank you for locking in to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. News and sports is on the other side.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network.